Welcome to Dr. B.R. Ambedkar Open University. Dear learners, welcome to session 2, in which we are going to explore few other theories and important functions of caste system. So now when we talk about occupational theory, so occupation has been one of the most important criterias of the working and functioning of caste system in India, and especially with regard to the occupation theory as a prominent factor of caste. This thought was put forth by Nesfield and Denzel Ibbetson. So occupation is considered as the primary factor in the origin of caste system. As we have seen in session 1, that occupational restriction is one of the very important characteristics of caste system also. So skills and professions, they were also transmitted from one generation to another generation, and that is why we say that occupations were hereditary in nature. So this is one very unique feature of occupational theory as well. Then occupational groups evolved into guilds and eventually into different castes and subcastes. The social status dependent on the perceived prestige of the occupations. For example, the professions which dealt with teaching, which dealt with priesthood, it definitely had relatively more higher prestige, was considered more privileged when compared to the other service caste, and that is why there was relative differentiation of the privileges and honors. Moreover, the higher ranked occupations, they enjoyed greater social respect, and moreover, when we try to understand what is Ibbetson trying to talk about occupational theory, he says that caste evolved through interaction among tribes, occupational guilds and religion, and thus the occupational specialization became the institutionalized and transformed into caste divisions. Then apart from occupational theory, we also have Brahminical theory, which is also called as political theory. So according to this theory, we are considering caste as a social and political institution. So the main proponents of this theory have been Abbe Dubius and G.S. Ghurye. So in this theory, the caste system is viewed as a social mechanism which is created by Brahmins to preserve their dominance, and that is why there are very strict restrictions on marriage, interdining and also social interaction. Basically, this theory says that caste system helped to a great extent to maintain the ritual purity, and also it privileged the certain higher statuses of Brahmins. Moreover, the religious texts legitimized the hierarchical social arrangements, but the critique of this particular theory has been provided by Hutton, who says that caste existed much before the Brahmins acquired the socially significant political power, and it is deeply rooted in the institution, and it could not have been created only because of the administrative or the political measures, because in Indian context religion always has been considered as one of the prominent factors as part of the caste system. So when we try to evaluate the various caste theories, we are fully convinced that one single theory cannot completely explain the caste system. Moreover, the caste has evolved over hundreds of years by the combined influence of religious beliefs, racial interactions, cultural factors, occupational specializations and also the political interests. The modern sociologists, however, they try to view caste as a multifactorial social institution which is shaped by historical as well as the social processes. So we have to keep these things in view when we are trying to evaluate the caste system in Indian context. One single factor is not and it cannot explain the origin of caste system. There have been multiple factors. The evolution, interaction between multiple factors have definitely contributed in the emergence, strengthen and evolution of caste system in India. Now let us try to understand that an institution which has existed for hundreds of years in Indian society, what are its prominent functions? So when we try to understand its prominent functions, according to Lawrence Ross, the caste system performed several important social functions. For example, it tried to mediate conflicts among different social groups and different stratas within the caste system. It preserved Hindu culture and traditions across generations over a period of hundreds of years. It promoted social integration and cohesion among different diverse communities as well. It also facilitated personal and social adjustment by providing clearly defined roles and expectations from the every caste. Moreover, it also contributed to the organization and continuity of social life through a structured social order. So its significance, if we try to understand what has been the significance or importance of the functionality of caste system, we can definitely say that caste system function not merely as a social hierarchy, but also as a mechanism for maintaining the social order, stability and cultural continuity in traditional Indian society. So that way its functionality has been very significant. Moreover, caste system was very important at individual life level as well, and also at community level. So when we try to understand in terms of individual life how caste system was playing an important role, then definitely it was instrumental in defining a person's social position and status right from the birth. It also prescribed and regulated very clearly the occupational roles which an individual has to perform. It also provided a kind of a social security and mutual support through caste solidarity. Caste solidarity even today matters to a great extent in Indian social structure. It also regulated behavior through various social customs, through social norms and moral controls as well. And it offered lot of psychological security by defining the status, occupation and also marriage choices. Now when we try to understand how caste has been instrumental in terms of the community life, then definitely it played an important role in preserving the group identity and social continuity. It also sustained religious beliefs and ritual practices. It also safeguarded and transmitted the cultural traditions and subcultural traditions, and it tried to ensure the continuity of social institutions and collective values through various generations. Now when we try to understand the broader functions of caste system, definitely it has been a uniting force, integrating diversified groups. It facilitated in a way organized division of labor. It was acting as an important factor in social stability and continuity, and also it helped in the preservance of the indigenous culture. Bhagwan Das, he has offered a very critical and scholarly assessment. He says that caste system facilitated functional distribution of duties, occupational specialization and also educational differentiation. So in this particular part we have tried to understand about the theories and functions. Thank you.